In this lesson, let us see how to morph one shape into another shape. So let's begin. First, let us morph the inbuilt shapes available in After Effects. So here we have the rectangle, the rounded rectangle, the ellipse tool, the polygon tool. First, let's begin with the rectangle tool. So we will create a rectangle. Right, and then we will place it exactly at the center of our composition. So here we will align it to the center of our composition, align horizontally and align vertically. Right, so once we have placed the rectangle at the center, now if we collapse the shape layer, here we can see plenty of options. So we will select the rectangle path below the rectangle one, right, and then we will right click on it, and here we have the option convert to Bezier path. So we will select this convert to Bezier path, right, and then here we have the path. Now we will be using this path to actually create the morphing. So we will see how. So first we will just click the stopwatch to create a key, right, then we will also copy the key. We will go to edit, and here we have the option copy. We can also use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+C or Command+C, right. So our first task is completed. Now we will deselect our shape layer. This is very important, and we can just hide our shape layer. Now we will select an ellipse. Here we have the ellipse tool. We will again just create a perfect ellipse. If we want to actually change the center point of this ellipse, we can do that. We can just select this pan behind anchor point tool, or we can hit Y and activate it, and we can just place the center point at the center of the object. Right, now we will align this ellipse at the center of our composition. So here we will just click on this, align horizontally and align vertically. Right, now what we'll be doing is we will do the same thing that we have done for the first shape layer. So we will collapse the ellipse 1, and here we will select the ellipse path 1, and we will right click on it, and again we will just select convert to Bezier path. Right, now we will again copy the path here, copy the path for this path 1. Just we will click on the stopwatch, create a key, and then we'll go to edit and select copy. That's it. And now we will hide this shape layer 2, and we will activate the shape layer 1, and then what we'll be doing is we will go to first second, and then here we will just add a key, so that we don't want any animation from 0 seconds to first second. And then in the second we will just select our path, and we will go to edit, and this time we will click on paste. Right, now if we see the animation from the 0 frame, and if we hit spacebar, we can see our rectangle morphed into ellipse. Now we will do one more thing. Again we will just deselect this shape layer, and we will also hide this shape layer 1, and we will select a star tool this time, and again we will create a star and place it at the center of our composition. We will place the star at the center of our composition, and let's see whether its center point is at the center or not. No, it's not at the center. So what we'll be doing, we will just select the pan behind tool, and we will just put the center point of the star at its center, and then we will also place the star at the center of our composition. So here we will align the star horizontally and vertically, to our composition. Right. So the next step is we will again select this polystar path once you collapse the shape layer for the star, and then we will just right click on it, and here again we will convert it to Bezier path. We will again just click on the path's stopwatch and copy its key, and then again hide the shape layer, the star shape layer. We will turn on the shape layer 1, and then what we'll be doing is we will go to 3-second mark. We will create a key, and in the 4th second we will just go to edit and paste. That's it. Now we will see the overall animation. We will simply hit the home key to go to the first frame, and if we hit spacebar, now we can see the rectangle morphs into ellipse and the ellipse morphs into a star. So this is a simple morphing of inbuilt shapes. In this example, we are not going to use the inbuilt shape tools. Instead, we'll be importing some PNG files, and then we will be converting them into shapes. Then we will morph all those shapes. So here we have some images, the PNG image files, and each PNG image file has an image of a animal. Right. So the first thing we'll be doing is we will use the pen tool, and we will just create some rough shape. You can create any shape. Right. Then we can align this shape to the center. We can also change its center point. We can keep the center point to its center. Right. This is the only inbuilt shape, but we'll also be converting this shape into our own custom shape. Right. Our next task is we will just collapse this shape layer, and we can see here there is path 1, and we can just turn on the stopwatch for the path 1. Right. And we can just copy. Right. Copy the key for the path 1. Right. Then we will first import our PNG image. We'll bring our first image, let's say this dog image. Right. And we will also align the dog to the center of our composition. Right. And we can also change its center point if we wish. Right. It's already at the center. All right. Now we will be first converting this PNG image into a shape. So how we can do that? We will select this dog image layer, then we will go to the layer menu. Inside the layer menu at the bottom we can find this auto trace option. We will select this auto trace option, and auto trace dialog appears, and we don't have to change any of the options inside this auto trace. Just we need to check this apply to new layer. By default it will be checked. In case if it is not checked, we can check this apply to new layer option, and then we will click OK. That's it. We have created a shape, the shape of this dog, using auto trace, and we can hide the original image. Then we will collapse the options for this auto trace layer, and here we can find the mask path. So this is the mask path. We will copy this mask path key. We'll just go to edit and we will select copy, and then we will also hide this auto trace layer, and we will open our shape layer here, and we will just paste our dog shape. So we can see we have just created our dog shape, but the thing is, let's try to increase its scale. It's very small. We will increase its scale value. Right, now it looks fine, and we can also try to position it properly. We will just move it slightly so that it is at the center, and we can also just align it to the center if we want. Right, now we are all set. We will repeat this process for other images or image files. So what we'll be doing is we will hide this shape layer, and we will bring the next image, that is, let's bring the image of this pig. Right, and we can scale it. Right, now we will just do the same thing. We will go to layer, and at the bottom we will find this auto trace. Make sure that apply to new layer option is ticked. Right, and then we will hide the pig image layer. We will do the same thing, but this time we can see here for this pig shape we have two mask paths, mask path 1 and mask path 2. We can delete this mask path 2 if you want. Right, and just like what we did for the dog, we will just copy the mask path key for this pig. So we can just copy, and we will hide the auto trace layer. We will activate our shape layer, then we will go to the first second. We will just create a key, add a key, then we will go to the second, and we will just paste. So now we can see we have pasted the pig image, but the only thing is the pig is very big. So what we'll be doing is we will go to the first second again. We will just check the transform shape 1, and we will create a key, a position key, and also a scale key in the first second, and we'll go to the second. We will just move the pig to the center, and we will also scale it down. Right, so let's see the morphing now. So we can see we have morphed the dog into a pig. Right, now we got it. We can follow the same steps for other two animals. So let's bring the images of other two animals now. So again we will hide the shape layer. We will get the image of cow. We can scale the image of cow. Then we will do the same thing. We will go to the layer menu, auto trace, and we will hide the image layer. Then we will do the same thing. We will just copy the mask path key, hide this auto trace layer, just open the shape layer. We can hit U key so that we can see all the keys, and then we will just hit K to just move our playhead to a particular keyframe. Right. Now we will go to the third second. We will just create or add a key. Then we will go to the fourth second, and in the fourth second let's paste. So what we'll be doing, we will just paste the cow shape. So we can see here we have pasted the cow shape, and if we want to scale it down, we need to first just go to the previous key, and here we have the transform position. Here we can create keys for the transform shape 1, position and scale, and then we can go to the fourth second. We can slightly scale down the cow. We don't want the cow to be too big. The position is fine. Right. So we have morphed 3 animals. Let's hit the home key now, and let's hit the space bar. So we can see how we have morphed 3 animals. And one last thing we will be doing now, we will morph the cow into a bird. So for that we will get the image of a bird. We will simply just select the bird image PNG file, and we will drag it inside our composition. We will scale it. Now we will just auto trace this bird image, right, and hide the bird image layer, and then just open the auto trace layer options. Then we will copy the mask path for this auto traced bird, and then we will hide the auto traced bird layer. We will just unhide the shape layer. Then again we'll do the same thing. We will just go to the 5th second, and we will create a key for the cow, and then we will go to the 6th second and we will paste. So that's it, and we can just go to the previous keyframe, that is the 5th second keyframe. We can create keys for position and scale. We'll move to the next keyframe. We will slightly increase the scale. We can just slightly also change the position. So now if we just go to the first frame and hit space bar, now we can see we have done a nice morphing animation. To make it more interesting, we will select all the keyframes. We will right click and we will just select the keyframe assistant, and we will select easy ease. Then we can also do one more thing. We can go to the graph editor. We can see all the keys here. We can just change the speed here. Here we have the position as well as the scale curve. We are changing the speed here, so we can see. Now if we just return to our timeline and if we play, so the animation appears in a jerk, so we can see. And if we are not impressed with this kind of animation, we can always just hit the undo command. We can go back and we can just change our curves to their defaults, right, and we can just play the animation again. So this is how we can import images, convert them to shapes, and create an interesting morph animation.